Welcome into the Knicks-Verse, the first live pregame show of the 2024-25 season. My name is George. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you are here and haven't subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting the thumbs up button for me. Shout out to Lex the Destroyer. Thank you so much, brother. Best mod around, holding it down. Kareem, Knort, Isaac Ivy. Excellent, great start. We are going to talk about this Knicks offense and how it compares to all the other Knicks offenses of its franchise history. Some of the numbers right now, we're 20 games through the season. We are one quarter of the way through, and some of the numbers are quite eye-opening, incredibly impressive, actually. And the defense, we'll talk about that. That is still a work in progress. But like I've said before, I have tremendous confidence that we have the right coach that can figure out the defense. And there are some positives to look at as well. We're going to break down a very important game tonight. It's the final group game for the NBA Cup between the Orlando Magic and the New York Knicks. Both of them are 3-0. The winner moves on. I believe the Knicks do not have a scenario to move on to get the wild card like they did last season, but the Magic do because of points differential. Don't quote me on that. What's up, Tony? Salute to the chat. Chris, man, what's happening, man? Thank you guys for joining me here. One thing I do want to mention is this Saturday, we are having our first watch party of this season at the Greyhound Bar and Grill in Glendale, California. So anyone in Los Angeles and Southern California, come on up, down, around, anywhere you are around us. Come and join us to watch this game. It's going to be against the Pistons. So should be a win, which is always nice for a watch party. It's the first one to be great. Saturday afternoon should be a nice one. We'll start around 4 p.m., but the game starts at 4:30 in LA. Great drinks there, great food. It's a great vibe. I've been watching a lot of games there as of late. Just love it there. So I hope you guys can join me if you are in the area and free. All right, next thing I want to talk about is this. Look at this beautiful thing. Love it. I think 3 years ago, the New Yorker magazine cover was of Kyrie and KD in Nets uniforms in the front, and being chased by them were, I think it was RJ, Julius, and somebody else kind of left behind. Wow, how things have changed dramatically. So the Knicks are back to owning the city as it should be, and they are gracing the New Yorker magazine. I love this illustration. This is awesome. I'm gonna see if I can get it and frame it. It's awesome. Let's talk about this. This is the December schedule. The Knicks won the first game. It was against the Pelicans. They destroyed them, 118-85. The Pelicans were depleted, severely depleted, without their two top scorers and their top defender. So we had to take care of business, and they did. The Knicks were even up by 42 points at one time. And Thibs even emptied his bench with 9 minutes left in the game. So you know that was a blowout that was very well in hand, according to Thibs' criterias. And then tonight, like we said, we have the Magic. Even though it's an NBA Cup game, all Cup games count towards the regular season schedule. The Magic. The Knicks have only beaten two winning teams when they faced them. And I believe that was the Nuggets and the Suns. Those were the only two winning teams the Knicks have beaten this season, I believe. It may have been some five. There may be some teams that the Knicks beat earlier in the season that are now plus 500. But at the time when they faced them, they weren't. So this is a good test. This is a big test. I think fans and probably players and the media, everybody is kind of looking at this game to see what Knicks team shows up, because they definitely have been this enigma, this riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma type of team. They've been the kind of the Jekyll and Hyde Knicks. So we're gonna see who shows up tonight. If the team that we saw against the Pelicans shows up tonight, it should be a very interesting team. And we're going to look at that matchup a little bit later, but I just want to move forward on this because then the Knicks have the Hornets again, which they took very lightly last time and almost lost. It was probably the most abysmal win that I have seen from a Knicks team as of late. I didn't do a recap for that one. It was Thanksgiving, so I had family and everything. It just put a bad taste in my mouth. But let's see how they respond this time. And they'll be hosting, I believe. Yes, they'll be hosting the Hornets. And then they have the Pistons on Saturday at MSG. That should definitely be a win. But the Pistons are kind of fun to watch. I've enjoyed watching them. Cade Cunningham has come a long way. He's definitely showing the promise that I saw in him back in college. I predicted him as a future All-Star, and he's beginning to look like one. He just needs to get a better team around him, but they do have some interesting players. So we'll see. We'll break that down. Then on the 9th, there's the Toronto Raptors. A match against RJ. I don't think Quickly will be back by then. Can't really. Quickly has been hurt most of the season, played 2 or 3 games, got hurt again, so he's out again. But who knows? Maybe by then he'll be back. And maybe by then we shall have Precious Achiuwa. Thibs did intimate earlier this week that Precious might be about a week away. So today's Tuesday. Earlier this week was yesterday. So maybe by next Monday, December 9th, we could see Precious. That would be nice. We got, then we have, it's like back-to-back battles against ex-Knicks. Key ex-Knicks. I mean, as far as this franchise, the success that it's had of late since the Thibodeau era, RJ, Quickly, Julius, and Dante are 4 of the essential people. And Knicks are seeing them in back-to-back games. Not back-to-back games, but on the regular season schedule. There's a gap in between because that's when the bracket phase, the tournament phase of the NBA Cup will be taking place in Vegas. So the Knicks might be in Vegas playing, so there will be other games in between. But right now on the schedule, this is how they're listed here. Then that's on December 19th. Then the 21st, they have the Pelicans again. Hopefully they'll be a little, maybe Ingram will be back by then. Hopefully, man, because playing them like that, it's like a practice game. But you know how it is. Again, on the 23rd, they have the Raptors. And then on Christmas Day, they have the San Antonio Spurs. Wembanyama comes to the Garden. That should be a blast. That'll be a noon start, 9 a.m. for me. I most likely will be doing a recap there, though I will be remote. Then the 27th is Friday against the Magic again. So we have 2 battles against the Magic. This is a very easy-ish schedule here. This is the time for the Knicks to feast. Then they close out with 2 Wizards games back-to-back. Not back-to-back, but 2 Wizards games in a row. So Wizards are struggling. Spurs, one night they can be good, one night, but they're struggling as well. Raptors are struggling, though. They're a scrappy team. I like the Raptors. I think once they get all healthy, they could really, show up. They can make a little run. Pelicans, they're hurt. Timberwolves are kind of Jekyll and Hyde-ish as well as the Knicks are. So this is a pretty easy schedule. The Knicks should win. Let's see, we went tonight, Hornets, Pistons, Raptors, Timberwolves, Pelicans, maybe Raptors in Toronto might be tough. Well, I guess that was the ninth. And Knicks should win at least eight of these games. So let's see, man. All right, let me check in on the chat here. Thank you guys. I'll reread this stuff later. If you want anything really special to shout out, just just post it a couple times. But I got a lot to show you guys, so let's keep moving here. So Tag tweeted this out. Was it yesterday? On Sunday. Damn, I ain't realized it was like this, which I love. Brunson's barrage in the 5-game road trip. This is what Brunson did. He averaged 30 points a game and 55% field goal shooting, 50% 3-point shooting, and almost 90% from the free throw line, 89%, and he averaged almost 10 assists per game during that 5-game road trip. That was unbelievable. 9.6. We would be dead in the water without him, and it makes perfect sense why he won Player of the Week. For the week, he averaged 26.8 points per game, 9.8 assists on 52.4% from the three-point line. He's finally caught fire, and it doesn't it doesn't surprise me that the team can explode on one night. I mean, they had a 145-point explosion against the Denver Nuggets, a team with Jokic. I mean, that was like unbelievable with the Joker. That's unbelievable results. But then, you know, we had the Utah debacle, and then there's the Dallas Mavericks debacle. So, again, you know, very inconsistent. Pastor Will Cruz, he says best point guard in the league. I have to agree right now. Definitely, he is playing like it. He's so good that look at this is what happened. New York Basketball tweeted this out. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns both nominated for NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Month for the October-November. It's one award for October-November, the way they do it. Brunson, as Knicks, went 11-5. He's averaged 25.9 points per game on 49% field goal shooting, 41% from the three. Remember, he started out slow from three this season, so now it's picked it back up. But he's shooting almost 53% in the past 5 games, or last week. So this guy's cooking. 7.8 assists. That will soon be over 8. Pretty soon if he keeps going the way he's trending. Towns, he's averaging 25.8 points per game. 2 players almost averaging 26 points per game on one team. That's fantastic. On 54% field goal shooting for him, 46.3% from the three. He was leading the league at one point with three-point shooting. It's dipped down a tiny bit, but he's averaging 12.7 rebounds. That's fantastic. He's made up tremendously for the rebounding deficit that appeared with once iHeart was signed by OKC and Mitch is not available and Precious is not around. So where were the rebounds going to come? Well, Karl Anthony Towns said, I will take care of that for you cats, and he's doing it. Fantastic. Jason Tatum ended up winning the Eastern Conference Player of the Month, and he totally deserves it, but these two were nominated, and they should be. They might be the best duo in the NBA, the best scoring duo in the NBA. They might be. And then someone else was nominated. OG Anunoby was nominated for NBA Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month for October-November. It's a new award. Wembanyama ended up winning it for the West, and for the East, it was Dyson Daniels, who's having a tremendous season for the Atlanta Hawks defensively. I mean, he's like double the steals of most people and deflections and all this stuff. He's fantastic. But OG, he plays a different style of defense, and he actually does deserve to be nominated. He probably will win Defensive Player of the Month at some point during the season, and he will be all NBA, all defensive team, first team, definitely, which is fantastic. It's one of the reasons why this team has serious aspirations to go all the way. And we'll talk about that, but the ingredients that teams need to go all the way. We may not get to it in this particular live, but I'm definitely going to address that again very, very soon. Then Thibs got himself a nom for Coach of the Month. I kind of found this one kind of interesting and humorous, especially with a lot of Knicks fans still think he's not the right coach for this team or for this era. I am disagreeing right now. If you've been a long-time watcher of this channel, you know that I have asked for him to be fired many times when he deserved it. Absolutely deserved it. And credit to him, when I did that, he actually responded. Not necessarily to me personally, because I was voicing the vibe and the feeling of the audience, of the Knicks fans, and of what the league is actually showing us. And he has adjusted. He's embraced the new modern NBA style of play, offense, which I'll show you. I'm going to show you guys. It's going to be blown away. And yes, the defense is an issue. At point guard, we have a negative defender. And in the middle, right now, we don't have Mitch. We lost iHeart. We have Karl Anthony Towns is back to playing the 5. Never been considered as a stopper or anything at all. But he's almost a neutral defender. And then when you consider his offensive output, it's tremendous. But when you need stops, you have to get stops. That's something that he hasn't been that impactful on. However, I am seeing something new in him, especially in the recent games. He definitely has committed to trying to get more blocks, more deflections. He is hedging a lot more. He's not doing the drop coverage as much. Now, of course, that's a team concept as well, and it's helping him. So the Knicks defense has marginally improved. It's more like in the middle of the pack-ish, but they need to get it up to the top 10. You have to be in defensive rating. You have to be in the top 10 to at least be considered a contender, even if you have the number 1 offense in the NBA. You still got to be in the top 10 defensively. So shout out to Thibs here. All right, so this is that's the preview of the Magic Orlando game. Let me get to this first before we do that. So here we go. I hope you guys find this as fascinating as I do. So I was starting to think, you know what? This offense is it's the best offense I have seen in orange and blue as a fan. So I did a little research. So I looked up. This is all the seasons in chronological order. But on Basketball Reference, you can filter beautifully. Look at this. Field goal percentage. The 2024-25 Knicks have the best field goal percentage right now in franchise history. They are 49.7% is what they're shooting as a team. That is the best a Knicks team has ever shot. The next closest was the 79-80 Knicks that I believe 79-80 Knicks. Who did that? I don't think that was Bernard King yet. Bernard King, it was 83-84. Well, that may be the Bernard King. Either way, then it comes to the 79-80 Knicks, 49.6. The 83-84 Knicks, 49.4, and the 81-82 Knicks at 49.1. Those are the only teams that have shot 49% or better. But think about this as well. Those teams did not attempt as many three-pointers as this team does. So look at this. Look at the three-point attempts. 2.3 for the 79-80 team. 2.0 for the 83-84, and 2.6 for the 81. So those were all. I mean, there were long-range shots, but there were more mid-range shots taken, and a lot of it was in the paint. Bill Cartwright, Bernard King, those guys feasted in the paint. And so you would think that a team that is averaging 36.4 three-point attempts per game, which has got to go up a little bit. It's got to go at least 38. A team averaging that many three-point attempts, it would drag down the overall field goal percentage. But no. They are still number 1, and they are the number. Obviously, when you think about it that way, they are the number 1 three-point shooting team in franchise history. So that's what we're talking about right now. That's how incredible this team, this offense is right now, and they're just kind of getting started. You guys know it. You can feel it. I think that's why we're seeing this heckle and jive situation. Heckle. We're seeing that this kind of like enigma situation with them, because if they're not hitting their threes, they're not defensive stoppers. So boom, they kind of almost have to surrender. But we've also seen some amazing comebacks that fell short. I think at some point, once this team starts clicking on all cylinders, and we get Precious back, and we get Mitch back, and Landry Shamet, and who knows what else Leon has in store. Maybe TJ Warren might make an appearance on here to pump up the second unit offense when needed. But once this team starts clicking on all cylinders, this offense and the defense are going to they're gonna devastate teams. I believe, and I said this in the recap the other night, that a Jan Knicks type run that happened this year in 2024 is going to happen again in 2025. I don't know exactly when, but it feels like January, maybe Jan to February, at some point there, the Knicks are going to go on a devastating run that will, like a 14-2 run or something like that, which will definitely be much needed for our chances to end up getting home court advantage in the playoffs. Now, that means we're battling Cleveland and the Celtics for one of the top 2 spots. Everyone loves Cleveland right now, but I want to see them do it for an entire season. We'll see. And then there's playoffs, so we'll see with them. Now, look at this. 2-point shooting, obviously, they're also number 1 here. This is even more impressive. Think about this. We're talking about some of the greatest offensive weapons. This is like having, also the 2022-23 season, similar. That's Jalen Brunson, man. That's Jalen Brunson right there. The 23-24 and 23-24. Those are Jalen Brunson type seasons. Now, 88-89, that's Patrick Ewing era. 2017, 09-10, that's Melo. We're talking this team is better than all of them inside the arc. That's crazy. That is craziness. And to no surprise whatsoever, they are the number 1 free throw shooting team in franchise history right now. If the remaining, this is with a team that's just beginning to learn how to play with each other, that has swapped out two of their 5 starters for new players. It takes a while to gel, and the offense is already performing better than any Knicks offense ever in the history of the franchise. And they could get better. Here's one thing though, as the season wears on, usually shooting numbers tend to drift downward, but 20 games is enough now. This could be where the Knicks end up at the end of the season, whereby all the other teams could be drifting downward. So this is incredibly exciting. This is a phenomenal top shelf level offense in the NBA. Top shelf level. Here's another thing that's interesting too, with assists. Assists per game, they are number 2 right now in the history of this franchise. The best one was the 77-78 Knicks. So this is what we're talking about. These are phenomenal numbers. This team also protects the ball. Right here, they are the number 2 in stingiest in giving up turnovers. So they protect the ball, and they are the most efficient shooting team in the NBA, which is interesting because when we come back here, where is this? Tommy Beer tweeted this out. So this is the battle we have tonight. This is why I'm really hyped for this game. It's going to start in about 14 minutes. Going to try and wrap this up soon. But Tommy Beer tweeted, New York has the best offensive rating in the East this season, and Orlando has the best defensive rating in the East this season. 121.1 for the Knicks and a 104.5 for the Orlando Magic. That is just sweet, sweet sugar right there. I love that. This is going to be the battle of I think it's going to be the best game of the year, of the season so far for us Knicks. That's what I'm hoping for right now. In terms of, let's go back here. Now, in terms of points, actual points scored, because the Knicks play at a slower pace, so you're not going to score as many points generally because there's less possessions. But even for the entire league, the Knicks have the 7th. They score the 7th most points. 117.8 is what they're averaging. But in terms of field goal percentage, they're number 2. 3-point percentage, they're number 2, all behind Cleveland. Free throw percentage, number 1. Rebounding, defensive rebounding. Here we go. They are 33.3. But the beautiful thing about them is they are keeping the other team from not rebounding as much. They have the lowest opponent rebounds. I think 39 point something or whatever. But they are also up here 4th best in protecting the ball. This team is cooking on all cylinders. Let's go to the ratings here. All right, offensive rating, number 1. New York Knicks are the number 1 offensive rating team in the NBA. Defensive rating, not so good. This is the problem. The Knicks are down here at 22nd. Here they are, 22nd. That has to improve, no doubt. Now, they've been trending in the better direction, though. I will say that. They are trending in the right direction. The Orlando Magic have the 3rd best rated defense in the total NBA, but in the East, they're number 1. All right, let me get back to this here. So now we know that this is a legendary, historic offense. So how are they going to take care of business on the defensive end? Well, some of the things that they have to take care of business is they have to not allow the opponents to get open looks from the three-point line. The key to the Knicks improving their defense is in the first quarter. They cannot let these other teams, because what's happening is we have guys like Ricochet from Atlanta, who the guy was shooting terribly, right, from the three-point line, and then he goes off and destroys us. We can't be the career night Knicks anymore. We can't allow other teams to come into the Garden, or if we're going to their arena, to just light this team up. Or if one guy just get his career high, 40 points one night. But a lot of it begins with having much more pressure out on the perimeter, defending that three-point line. I know everyone's like thinking, oh no, it's inside the arc, it's around the rim. Cat's allowing too many shots being made efficiently around the rim. That is true. But we are a better shooting team around the rim. Do you believe that? So we need to limit the comfort of the three-point shot on opponents to begin games. It's the most important because it sets the tone. Once a guy sees one or two go through the hoop, it becomes infectious. We've seen it happen. That is a huge Achilles heel. So we need that perimeter defense to tighten up, and I'm seeing signs of it as of late. So look out for that. Let's get back to this here. All right. Take a moment here. Please smash that like button. And salute to the chat. We got Big Task in the house. Gideon, what's up, brother? Thank you guys for joining me here. What else we got? If I missed anything, I apologize. All right, here we go. Yeah, salute to the chat. All right, so the Magic are 15-7. They're right above the Knicks in the Eastern Conference standings. The Knicks are 12-8. The Knicks have gone, this is from ESPN, have gone 9-5 against Eastern Conference teams. They're 7th in the NBA, averaging 117.8 points, as I mentioned, and shooting 49.7% from the field, which is number 2 in the NBA. The Magic have gone 12-3 against Eastern Conference opponents, which is amazing. It's amazing what they've been able to do without Paolo Banchero, who is arguably their best player. Well, now Franz Wagner is making a tremendous argument as being their best player. He's been fantastic, and they have been on a crazy run. They've gone 12-3 against Eastern Conference opponents. They only score 108 points per game, while they still outscore opponents by 5.7 points per game. So this is going to be a battle of opposites. The 117 points per game, the Knicks average are 15.5 more points than the Magic give up. The Magic are shooting 45.1% from the field, 1.6% lower than the 46.7% the Knicks opponents have shot this season. That's one thing. The Knicks are in the minus between field goal field goal percentage differential, which is really kind of odd, but not in 3 points. Continuing this, in the last 10 games, the Knicks are 7-3, averaging 121.5 points per game, because that's including, I think, 3 or 4 of those 130-plus point games, plus the 145-point Orlando phenomenal game there. 43.4 rebounds per game, almost 30 assists, 7.3 steals, and 4.6 blocks per game. All those are up, which is awesome, while shooting 50.3% from the field overall. Their opponents have averaged 112.9 points per game in the past 10 games. So that is a sweet differential right there of, what is that? That's 8.6. That's not bad. Magic are 9-1 in the last 10 games, averaging 107.5 points per game, 41.7 rebounds, 24.9 assists, 10.1 steals. So they're up there with steals, 8.2 blocks, because they are, they're basically a lockbox, these guys. While shooting 46.2% from the field, their opponents have averaged 99.2 points per game in the past 10 games. Oh man. The Knicks injury report is they saw Precious is still out and Mitch Robinson. Magic has Paolo out and Gary Harris will be out. Wow. This is going to be awesome, man. What do you guys think? I want to hear from you guys before we sign off here. What's going to be the final score? What are your final score predictions here? Ask you. Score predictions. Prediction. All right. Something else. Another reminder, in case you missed it earlier. I am having a watch party at the Greyhound Bar and Grill this Saturday, December 7th. So any Knicks fan in LA, please come and join me. If you haven't met yet before, it'd be great to meet you guys. The ones I have met, it's been awesome to talk Knicks basketball with someone it actually face to face. And also, it's a great place to watch a game. Great food, great beers and cocktails and stuff. And the owner, Steve, he is a huge Knicks fan. So it's just a perfect place to watch games. You can come down and watch it with me and my friends and stuff. Be awesome. I did see some games here. Some questions here. Pastor Will Cruz says, how are the Knicks doing against good defensive teams? You know what? Great question. Great question. Let me see if I can pull this up here. The Knicks against... Against good defensive teams. I'd have to dig deeper, but I will. That's a great question. Outcome. Let's see how they're doing in their losses. That's a better way to look at it. Let's see how in their losses. Go back here. So Knicks offense. These are in the losses. Knicks offensive rating is 114, which is still it's tied for best in the NBA, behind Dallas. But their defensive rating just oh my God, it's disgusting. 124.7. So they're a minus 10.7, or I guess 10.8 here in net rating, which puts them middle of the pack. So this is in their losses. It's not really answering your question, Willie, but it's definitely good to look at it. But they have the lowest defensive rating in losses. Wow. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Ooh, a 113-107. Okay, I like that. 110-108. Ooh, that's gonna be a nice tight nail biter right there. Gideon's got it at 115-112. Lots of nail biter scores here. Alexis going for blowout. 110-89. I like that. And Victor, what's up, Victor? Victor Rivera is going for a 112-105. That feels like a comfortable win. I love it. I love it. I think the Knicks are going to win tonight. For one, they're finally back home. You know, they've settled in. They had a great practice game against the Pelicans on Sunday. They know what works. And even though Orlando, they're very big. They're a big team. Even though they're a big team, and Suggs is a very, very good defender. He'll probably be on Brunson. Even though that's the case, we also have good size on our wings with OG, with McHale. Towns has been a rebounding beast. So I think we'll end up owning the glass. Josh Hart is going to be a key player in this game because I have a feeling that the Magic are going to give him up. They're going to induce him into shooting. And lately he's been fantastic. So he could be the key to this game tonight. Let's see how he's been shooting this season. Josh Hart is shooting 38.2% from the three-point line. That's good. That's serviceable. But I think in the last 5 games, he's shooting 50%. Let me show you guys this. So in the last 5 games, Josh Hart is the best, all right, along with Deuce McBride, 50%. Look at this. Brunson's 43. So Josh Hart's going to be the key to this game from an offensive standpoint, because the Knicks are just going to have to score. They're going to have to figure a way to score. Now, the upside is the Magic don't have that an exciting of an offense. They have Franz, which is he's phenomenal, and Suggs sometimes can get hot here and there. But the other guys on that squad, they're more middling type offensive players without Paolo. Paolo's outstanding, obviously, but without him, they mostly depend on featuring Franz and playing outstanding defense, and that's why they've been on this run lately. I think they've won 6 in a row. So I think they're actually the hottest team in the NBA right now. Woo! So that's going to be an interesting battle. Isaac. That's right. They have Isaac. Yeah. Isaac's good. Yeah. So is he even starting for them? I don't think so. Let's see. Lexus says his keys to the game are hold the Magic under 100 points, which I think they will. Rebound is the key. Yep. And ball movement on offense. That's going to be the challenge. Now, Knicks have been averaging 30 assists per game as of late. So if they can continue that type of offense, they will find great shots against Orlando. And if they're making them, they're going to be tough to beat. If they're not making them, it's going to be tough for the Knicks to win. That's just the reality of the situation of what it's like to be a Knicks fan right now. But so far, they're 12-8. If we can get this win, it'll be 13-8. They'll move on in the NBA Cup, which will be nice. I want the Knicks to win. I want to win the Cup. I like what Josh Hart said. A lot of the motivation is for the guys on the bench who are, on whatever the low salary or whatever. That $500,000 bonus could be really sweet for them. That's a great incentive. And plus, it's just nice to show the world what kind of a team you are. And that's what the NBA Cup is about, to bring that enthusiasm in the middle of towards the beginning of the season, technically. So let's see it happen, man. Yes, player movement and cutting and relook. When the Knicks are clicking, they're doing all those things. When they're not doing those things, they're not clicking. They're not winning. So it's like, it's symbiotic. They have to do that. Yes, Magic players have long arms. They lead the league in swipes and forced turnovers. Yep. They switch well and are mobile. And we are the stingiest team in terms of giving up turnovers. So it's a great battle. Excellent battle. Right now, it's about to start, so I'm going to sign off really soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm going to be doing more lives, and I will be launching the channel memberships, which will really help the channel itself, and also help do more lives. And there'll be lots of cool little benefits and stuff, and it'll just help keep the channel rolling, which is definitely necessary. Yes, hit that like button. Thanks so much for Lex the Destroyer for holding it down, and everyone who showed up today. Let's go Knicks. I can't wait to see it. I will be doing a recap, so look out for that, and I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go. Let's get this game.